All right, everyone. Welcome to our second career highlights. I have with me Miss Monique Murphy. How are you, Miss Murphy?
I'm doing well. How are
Thank you
you?
for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We are so excited to have you with us. So, I see we've got a couple folks online. So, if you could just drop in the box if you're an educator, put a smiley face emoji. If you're a student, put it in a heart. And if you're a parent or community partner, give me a thumbs up so we know who we have with us in the building today. We want to see those comments coming on in. So, I'm going to play a little more music while we wait. All right? Just play a little bit more of our little intro music. But again, if you're online, I see we've got about 10 people online. So just tell us where you're from. We'd like to know where you're from. If you're an educator, put a smiley face emoji and let us know what school you're with. If you're a student, give us a heart emoji and tell us what school you're with. And if you're a parent or community partner, please tell us who you are. Give us a thumbs up just so you know you're hanging out with us today. All right, no one's going to drop in the chat. Come on. I know there's people out there. We want to hear from you. Tell us who's with us tonight. I know we've got a few people.
See you. Let us know you're there.
Yes, let us know you're with us. So we're not by ourselves. Uh-oh. Nathaniel Singletary, awesome. All right. Hi, Mr. Singletary. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Awesome. Who else is with us tonight? Got a few more, I think. Drop in the chat who's hanging out with us. And then we can get to talk to Miss Murphy about all her. Oh, Miss. Hi, Miss Page. Awesome. So good to have you guys with us on tonight. Community partner, awesome. Thank you. Well, we're gonna go ahead and jump in and get moving and get started if that's all right with you. And we're gonna talk to Miss Murphy. We've got we've got some other folks on. Thank you. Awesome. This is great. Great. So who else do we have? All right. Miss Paul's the former program manager. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. We're happy to have you. And Miss Upchurch, we're also happy to have you as well. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. I'm going to introduce you all to Miss Murphy. She is the rector at PricewaterhouseCoopers, working in their digital assurance and transparency practices, serving clients throughout the Midwest. So that's what areas would that all? That would be what your Illinois, Michigan. Am I about right?
Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania. So yeah, your typical Midwest area.
Awesome. And she's got, I mean, you've got 16 years of audit and compliance experience.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
tell
We're
us a
gonna get
little.
into that.
You said
Yeah.
what now, Miss Murphy?
We're gonna get into that. Do you want me to go ahead and jump into it?
Yeah, no, we'll talk about your education, and I was going to ask you to just share with us like what your typical day looks like, and then if anyone has any questions, to definitely do so. Um, we've got Cap City Preps on, and he actually did a joint venture with Miss Jackie a couple years ago. Awesome, Mr. Singletary. So she holds her Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration with a focus on management and information systems. You and I would get along well. My background is in human resources and information systems, so I love data. So I'm pretty sure you're probably a data girl,
Yes,
and it makes you very happy when you see
I'm
numbers and
very
you.
big into the data. Yeah, data and numbers. I would say are my thing. So
Yep.
yeah, we can
And
get into all of that.
you graduated from OSU, and you're a member of the National Association of Black Accountants, and you're certified information systems auditor. So, and you have five beautiful children.
Yes.
Awesome. That's amazing. And your husband, we actually had last week. He is our program manager for Lead the Way. So it's awesome to see, have both of you guys on with us, and hang out. So tell us a little bit about what your day looks like typically, for in your job as the director with at Price Waterhouse.
Sure. So, as Latoya said, and thank you again for having me today. I'm a director with PricewaterhouseCoopers. Been there for 16 years. I've been here for 16 years. Um, a typical day is not a typical day. Every day is different, and that's because I am serving clients around the Midwest. If you think about some of the things that you hear in the news around cybersecurity incidents,
Miss Murphy, if you could speak up just a little bit, someone is saying they can't hear you well, so
they
I don't know
can't
if you
hear
could.
me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Hopefully, it's better now.
If Miss Paul could let us know if that's better now, that would be great.
Okay, I'm gonna try and talk more and see if you guys can hear me better.
That does sound better, for at least from my end, from what I hear as well. So yes,
Okay.
yes,
All
ma'am.
right. So yeah, as I was saying, at PwC, there's no typical day because I am serving a lot of different clients. And if you think about what's going on in the news, in terms of cybersecurity incidents, in terms of data breaches, all of those things, um, and just let me know. Keep the comments coming if you cannot hear me or if you can hear me. That'll let me know if I need to do something else. But all of those incidents are the types of things that my company gets into. So as you can imagine, technology is evolving every day, every month, as cyber actors get more. Oh, there's an echo. They said, "Hmm, let me." Oh, someone said it's way better now. Okay, so hopefully I can keep going and
Yeah.
okay. But if you think about how technology has evolved over the years, even the 16 years that I've been with PwC, those things are the reason why there's no typical day. But my job involves working with a lot of big name companies that you all know and have heard of and helping to solve their important problems, primarily focused on technology as well as accounting, and things of that nature. So um, it's hard for me to say a typical day because every day is different and every day brings about a new set of problems. But those are kind of the areas that I delve into on a day to day basis.
So, what do you find is the funnest part of your job? Like, what is it in your career that makes you get up in the morning and want to keep doing what you do?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it's actually a question that we get a lot from um, students. You know, I think the echo is from, yeah, when you hit mute, I think it goes away. So we'll try to go back and forth with the mute button. Um, yeah, so the thing that keeps me motivated and going is because it's never the same thing. It's always evolving. And our company is focused on changing and molding based on what's going on in the industry and what's going on with companies and the problems that they're trying to solve. In addition to cybersecurity, a really big topic right now is the climate change, the effect of climate change on companies. That's actually a really big topic right now, that is affecting the accounting industry as well as technology. So that's something that I think for me keeps me motivated because it's never the same thing. It's always evolving. In the 16 years that I've been with PwC, it has evolved so much. So I think that's what keeps me motivated.
So, with that, what made you go into this particular line of work? I know you kind of talked about what your favorite part was, but tell us what made you go into that line of work.
Yeah, and I'll start when you hit mute. That way there won't be an
I
echo.
think I fixed it. So I wanted to see if it
Oh,
was fixed. So go ahead, and
okay.
I went into if Nakia or Cap City Preps could let me know if the echo's back. But I think I changed it to where we shouldn't have an echo at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay. Yeah, so what made me go into this line of work? So maybe the best way for me to answer that question is to maybe talk about my journey to this field because if
Okay.
I go back to when I was in high school, I never thought I'd be in the industry that I'm in. I was undecided. I was a very high performing student, valedictorian of my school. I graduated from Columbus City Schools, Beechcroft High School. Um, but I was undecided, right? Like so many people. And I think it's because, um, you know, I wasn't exposed to a lot of different industries or a lot of different types of careers. But I do credit a nonprofit organization called Inroads, if anyone is familiar with them, with really probably changing the trajectory of my life, honestly. And it's gotten me to where I am today. Inroads is an organization who focuses on mentoring minorities, high school students and college students, minorities, and trying to get them into business fields. And they start, when you're in high school, and they do things such as mentoring and teaching you how to write resumes and how to interview. I joined that organization as a high school senior, interviewed for a company, American Electric Power. I'm sure everyone is familiar with them.
Yeah.
And I was an intern for them for 4 years because of Inroads. And it's sort of unheard of even now. You don't really see, someone who doesn't even have a year of college experience under their belt interning at a company like that. But I interned for them for 4 years, and the internship was in the field of information technology, and it exposed me to so much. And because of that, I knew I wanted to go into business. And because I was doing technology, I knew I wanted to do a blend of technology and business. And so my major, as you mentioned earlier, was management information systems, and it was because of that. Um, so I really love partnering with other, Lead the Way is a great organization, other organizations that really mentor and take young students under their wings and expose them to different business fields, because I think the more we see, the more we are exposed to, the more we can open our eyes and really identify what we really want to do.
Yeah, I
Had no
agree.
idea. So I started working for PwC a year out of college. PwC is known as being an accounting firm. My major was not accounting. It's management information systems, as I mentioned, which is really about, how businesses use technology to run their business. At the time that I was hired, there was a new regulation that was put in place, and they needed people with my background who understood systems and technology to help them with accounting. But 16 years later, one thing I'll say is I'm actually I wish I could go back and actually major in accounting, because I do think accounting and MIS are very related. But again, it goes back to I was never exposed to accounting prior to going to college. So I feel like had I been exposed to that, I would have chosen something differently. But nonetheless, PwC has been a wonderful organization, wonderful company in terms of my career and what I've done over the years. And my degree has definitely set me up for success here at PwC.
Have you considered going back for accounting by chance?
So I have, and I am.
Oh, okay.
So I started taking some accounting courses, and I'm actually studying for my CPA certification. So because I didn't have an accounting degree, the CPA, Certified Public Accountant certification, you do have to have a certain number of accounting credits. So I am currently doing that right now.
Well, awesome. That is really good. And I think you've already shared with us like how you got to where you are going and in your next steps. So what would you share with a young person? So, and I wanted to back up. It sounds like the Inroads
Yeah.
program is very similar to Lead the Way Learning Academy, which is really cool to actually talk to
Yeah.
someone who's kind of went through a program similar to Lead the Way, where they mentor students, where we look at the holistic approach of the student, where we're,
Hmm.
if you want a pathway to college, great, we've got you on a pathway to college. If it's a
Right.
pathway to trades or something like that, we also have that. So that's good to hear about you completing a program like that. So for all of our students that are watching, the program that Miss Murphy completed through Inroads is very similar to Lead the Way Learning Academy. And all you got to do is reach out to us. Our web address is at the bottom, leadthewaylearningacademy.org. And we have those same opportunities for you. It's not necessarily based off your grades. There is some eligibility requirements, but if you head over to the website, you definitely can apply online, get an AMP coach, and they can walk you through your next steps in life. So thanks for mentioning that Inroads program. I'm not too sure if they're still out and about these days, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Unfortunately, it's been so long ago since I was part of their organization, but I agree. lead the way sounds, and I have firsthand knowledge of this, is very, very similar, and it truly changed, my life for the better. I don't know what I would have majored in. To be honest, I was very interested in math, but I didn't know what you could do with the math degree. So I took the what I thought was a more practical route of, I knew, going into college I would do something in business, but I didn't know exactly what. But again, that internship really opened my eyes to see what was out there, the possibilities, and I happened to really like it. So I think programs such as yours are really needed. Um,
Yeah. So all of our students and parents or guardians and individuals that are in the community that know individuals that may need something, we do some great things here at Lead the Way. I actually volunteer and help out sometimes with them, like one of these things, and do some contract work with them sometimes. And I just think my first experience with them was this past summer, and I was responsible with a good friend of mine, Caroline, and we put on the event, the AMP conference, and it was great to take two kids that had never understood about we with event planning, it's project management, it's numbers, it's data. We did surveys, we talked, and then we were able to tell her, hey, this was successful, this wasn't successful, as we prepared. So thanks for sharing that. So we talked already what was your favorite thing, but what motivates you in your industry? And since we both like numbers, I'm curious to hear, what is it about the data that excites you? Because I know why it excites me, but I love to hear whatever someone else would want to say.
yeah, because there's so much power in data, right? And
Yes.
now the evolution of technology, is there's so much out there. There's so much data at our disposal. The amount of data, just if you think about laptops nowadays versus, what they were a few years ago, the amount of data they can handle. Technology just gets better and better. It can handle more data, it can handle more storage, but there's so much power in telling a story with data, right? And so for me, that is really, we can truly help our clients, like bringing it back to PwC. We truly help our clients make better business decisions because we can make them based on actual information and data versus emotions. And that's powerful. The things we're seeing with climate risk or societal, the things that are going on in our society, a lot of that can be backed with data. And
Yep.
it's very powerful to tell a story that people don't truly, they may kind of know or understand, but when they see a presentation that I give and it's all based on actual data, it truly can be captivating to watch their minds truly sit back and say, wow, like I had no idea. So for me, that's why data is very interesting. Obviously we know that there's a quote that, sometimes numbers can lie, so you can obviously spend some data the way you want, but so
We
there's a
know.
piece of that there. But for the most part, that for me has been really interesting to see the change in the 16 years that I've been in the field that I'm in, um, as it relates to data and technology.
Well, I'm happy. Your answer is definitely my answer. The whole
Okay.
storytelling piece. Like I got to be able to back it up and be able to say this is why. Of course, we have our other reasons. Sometimes you got to trust your gut, but a lot of times that data is there, and if you really analyze it and tell that story, you're able to make your next best moves, whether it's in
Right.
business, nonprofit work, church, whatever it is. If you look at that data, it'll tell you your next step or steps to take, or how to build a campaign from a PR marketing standpoint, or how to recruit for something, or how to invest if you really look at the data. And so that's
Absolutely.
cool that you get to do that for your clients. And like you said, the wow factor, I bet you that just makes your day like, yes, that is
Yeah.
why I do what I do, because I was able to expose them to something and explain something to them in a different way that they may not have otherwise understood.
Absolutely. And even in industries that, some people may not correlate data with, because data is powerful for almost any industry. But if you think about sports, even, I'm going to tell this story. Like my husband, he's been a coach, for our kids' little league teams for years. And I mean, our kids are teenagers now. So this has been over 10, in some instances over 10 years he's been doing this, but he always used to make decisions based on data. We would watch the video the replay of a game, and we would take down the stats, and he would use that to inform him how he would then coach, the team that week in preparation for the game that
That's
weekend.
good. That's good.
So you see it on live TV where they're looking at data, off and on
Mm-hmm.
the court. So
And studying each type of player and understanding their moves
absolutely.
and their stats and what they're strong in, so then you know how to take your, I mean, data works in every industry, which is
Right.
crazy. So
Right.
all right, I know we've been on and we only do about 30 minutes, but what three things would you leave with our youth and our community partners this evening as they begin, especially our youth, as they begin the workforce journey and developing their career? What three things would you leave with them?
Yeah, yeah. The three things so first and foremost, what I would say is you have to be willing to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. It can be very easy for us to sometimes get caught up in getting comfortable. I probably should have mentioned this with my particular career in my company. One thing I can say is we never have the same year. We're always driven to push ourselves to that next level, because that's the only way we're going to grow. We have to,
Mm-hmm.
if you're sitting in your comfort zone, you're probably going to stay where you are and stay stagnant for a while. But if you go outside of your comfort zone, that's where the growth happens. But in that means you have to be willing to fail, and you're going to fail a lot through your career. Nobody has it all figured out. You We're constantly growing. You asked me the question, have I considered going back to school? I'm in the midst of studying right now, and that's difficult for someone who's been out of school for a long time. And so, I have to be willing to understand that I'm not going to always get it right in terms of study habits, etc. But I have to be willing to push myself. Um, the other thing I would say is I don't think there's anyone that's fulfilled their dreams or their full potential in isolation. And what I mean by that is relationships are how things happen. You have to be willing to do things through relationships. I One of the ways that I got my job is through a relationship I knew. I've rarely, or I've had very few formal interviews that I've done in my life, and most of the times it's through the relationships that I've built or that I've known. That's not to say that that's going to be everyone's experience, but a lot of times the way we navigate this world is through relationships, and also that means that as you rise the ranks, be willing to pull others up with you.
Mm-hmm.
um, and make sure one thing that we always say at my job is you have to be willing to coach up your replacement, because if you're
That's
not
good.
coaching up your replacement, then you're not going to be able to get to that next level. You're going to be stuck in that lower level job, but you have to coach your replacement so then you can advance. um, the other thing is, and I didn't do enough of this early on when I was in college, but identifying your weakness and being willing to work on them constantly. um, my weakness for me was that I was terrified of speaking in public, terrified of speaking in front of classrooms. And so
Really?
I avoided it successfully through college for the most part. And then I got into this line of work, and I'm constantly presenting and working with
Look
clients. And
how it
now
goes full circle. It
yes, it
push
goes
you
full
right,
circle. So I had to figure that out
put
in
you
my
right in the
job.
front, right?
Right, you're right, front and center. But had I worked on it while I was in school, I probably would have learned how to navigate some of those quirks and whatnot in college. So I would say it's hard. It's not easy, but I would say the people that can do that early and often typically are able to succeed a little bit quicker. I would say if you work on your weakness. And then the last thing I would say is I had a quote that I wanted to leave you with, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's by the former president of Liberia. Her name is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and she says, "The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough." And I've always lived by that, because I truly firmly believe that that feeling that you feel in your chest when you're scared, that's where the growth happens. And you can never get to that next level without that feeling.
Wow. That is truly awesome. I definitely agree. We can't get anywhere without having that next level. So that kudos to you for going back to school. Like you said, going back to school uh, now is different, for you, and you're definitely learning things about yourself that you probably didn't know. And that's cool that you're willing to kind of take that extra step and push yourself to do that. So that's amazing. That's definitely amazing. Well, I definitely want to share with everybody. We do have, speaking of going back to school, we do every Thursday career highlights. So this week we have Miss Murphy talking about a field working dealing with accounting, and then we actually have a financial person next week as well, Miss Stacy Burke, with Onionomics, talking about basic like budgeting and things like that as well, and she is an entrepreneur, so we have her next week. But I also want to share, since Miss Murphy's talking about going back to school, we also have our college readiness. And next week for college readiness, we're doing financial aid part 1. We're talking about the FAFSA piece. Our presenter is Miss Laura Meek, and she is the finance director, or the director of financial aid at Denison University. So if you're looking to kind of like hang out and learn some things, please make sure you join us next Wednesday. Now, you do have to register for College Readiness Wednesday. So if you head over to Lead the Way Learning Academy or on our Facebook page, we do have the link there. So if you know a youth that is interested in going to college, this is free information. Let me say it again. It is free information. This past Wednesday, we had the Ohio State University, their diversity office, and their admissions team with us this past Wednesday. So you don't want to miss our College Readiness Wednesdays. Please, like, share, tell a friend, invite your youth. Again, it is free. And we do thank Miss Murphy for sharing with us tonight. So again, this is our College Readiness Wednesdays. We do thank everyone. If there's any questions, if you can drop them in the chat at this time. We're going to go ahead and also ask, if you are on, tell us in the chat what you loved most about today learning with Miss Murphy. And we do have a giveaway, so I'm just waiting on someone to share that with us, and we can definitely give away. We've got, I think, a t-shirt Mr. Murphy mentioned to me, and I think a bag. So if you're interested in winning something, we've got some prizes. Definitely type in the chat what you took away from today, from what Miss Murphy shared about her career. And actually, she's been with the same company since college. So definitely she found a great career, a great company to work for. She had a great organization that helped her get there. So definitely share with us what you learned tonight to see if you would be a winner. So again, Miss Murphy, we just thank you for hanging out with us and chilling, and thank you for sharing your husband with Lead the Way. He's definitely great with our youth, because we had him last week. So I think it's really cool what you guys do in helping the youth, and you coming to spend your time with us tonight, because you didn't have to. You could have been anywhere else, anywhere.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we've got anything else, but if there's any last remarks that you want to share before we go, or please do so. I'm going to see if anyone will put anything in the chat and let us know what they learned, so we can do our giveaway tonight, and I'll let you do your final remarks.
Just thank you for having me. And, if anyone is ever interested in you can reach out to Ms. Berger or Lead the Way. Anyone ever interested in accounting or MIS, or just anything that they took away from tonight and had any questions, I'm more than happy to follow up with you. I'd love to share my experience, just in hopes that it'll help someone else. There's a lot of things that I had to fail out, going back to one of my things that I left you with, and so I'd be happy to share with anyone, just in hopes that you guys can grow and learn from my experience. So please feel free to reach out. I'm always just a Zoom call away, or whatever.
Right, a Zoom. It's a Zoom call now. It's a phone call. It's definitely not a we can go for coffee or lunch. We're kind of limited. So I guess we have no winners tonight. Again, thank you for all of our community partners that joined. I had a couple folks from out of town today, so thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Definitely come back next Thursday. We have Miss Stacy Burke. Don't forget to go to our website and our Facebook page to sign up for College Readiness Wednesdays. It's an entire series. I think we're doing all the way through March. Coming up in April, May, we have our resume writing. We're doing a job fair in June. Like, you've got to plug in and connect with Lead the Way. If you have any questions, definitely shoot us a message on social media. We'd be more than willing to talk with you and let you know what our programming is that we offer. Again, College Readiness Wednesdays are free. Career highlights are free. Miss Murphy has offered herself to, as long as you go through us, through Lead the Way, to mentor if someone's interested in accounting. So make sure you stop back by. Again, thank you all, and thank you, Miss Murphy, for joining and hanging out with us tonight. We do appreciate you, and that is all we have. So if we don't have any winners or takeaway, I'm gonna let everyone go. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much, Miss Murphy.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.